Hi, I'm Kenny Anderson, host of Impact, and today we are on location at Speakin Out News. Did you know that Speakin Out News is the longest running paper serving Huntsville and North Alabama? We're going to be talking today with Mr. William Smothers, who began it all, and we're going to find out all about what's been happening with the paper since its inception and how they have evolved over time. Join us for Impact. And we're glad to be here today on location at Speakin Out News for an opportunity to learn about this amazing publication that has made a difference in this community and around the nation for many, many years. I'm happy today to be able to introduce to you the publisher and founder of Speakin Out News. He's none other than William Smothers. How are you doing, Mr. Smothers?
Good morning, Mr. Alice. How you doing, Kenny? I call you Kenny because I know you so well.
You absolutely should call me Kenny. And I'm just honored to be able to talk to you today about what you have done and your journey as it relates to this paper. I want to start where I normally start with these kinds of opportunities, and that's at the beginning.
At the beginning.
Tell me something about how this all began.
Well, I'm going to give you a short version of this, okay? 35 years ago, I guess it's a story that seemed like out of a Napoleon Hill book or something, but from my kitchen table, I started Speakin Out magazine. And that we have some pre-publication manuscripts that we kept I wanted to show you. Here we started accompanied by these are pre-manuscript publication expenses, okay, in August of 1980. Started accompanied with $735.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
So those were the first.
Kind of sounds like the John Johnson Ebony story in a way, too.
It does, right? Exactly, which a man I totally admire and respect.
Yes.
Yes, right. But during the early years, it was quite interesting because we started in a magazine format. And this is the first magazine here in 1980 that we published.
Wow.
Here, okay? But I soon realized that to be very viable, I didn't have that high and glossy color. I didn't have processed color, getting spaces in the grocery stores and the racks, distribution, and just being accepted by people in general. Because remember, this was new. And there are a lot of individuals that did not accept this publication. And that go between both races. Yeah. But we, proceeded onward.
Yes. This is really, I think, an amazing story, and it certainly is one that many people can look at and see woven through the thread of this journey. Many opportunities where you experience success starting the paper, but you've also had some challenges along the way.
A lot of challenges.
My question is, how do you push past those things? Because this is not an easy thing to do, but you've persevered for so many years. What's made that difference for you?
Well, that's a very good question. First, it comes family. My mother, okay, I look back historically, it was always instilled in us to proceed, to move ahead. You can do it. That sort of attitude, okay, regardless of what sort of obstacles you had. You can do it if you work hard enough, and I believe in hard work. So those sort of things instead, and plus your spiritual raised in the background, and having support after you grow, So, but I mainly would say the family, my mother, instead that hard work in us.
Yeah. Business ownership, of course, is something that we often talk about in society at large, but it's especially important in the African American community. When you think about the idea of having something to pass on, there's so many people who, when they leave this life, pass on debt and responsibilities that are well beyond a person's ability to really take care of. They don't have a house to pass on. They don't have a business to pass on. What does it mean to have a business that you can literally pass on to your family?
It's very rewarding and gratifying to me. All four of my daughters are somewhat affiliated with the paper. 3 are definitely affiliated. All 4 of them are. But to have that type of legacy, it's another generation to take the baton and move forward with it, to cover events in our community, to chronicle events, to uplift, to inspire, to also raise provocative issues that may be debatable in a lot of things. You don't see that as far as in journalism, especially with black press. In America, there's only 200 black newspapers owned Okay, so that living part of Speaking Out News is quite meaningful. So to have something to leave to my daughters, to carry on the banner for Huntsville and North Alabama, it's very rewarding.
And it must be a great source of pride,
It
too,
is,
to
it
have
is.
a paper that has lasted as long as it has.
Kenny, listen, from the Ku Klux Klansman putting KKK on my lights down in Decatur to so many obstacles and hurdles. But that just motivates me more to succeed. So, I think one should really define your purpose and believe in what you're going to do. And you don't have to be defined or validated by others to proceed on. So many people want validation from others to proceed, got good dreams, good ideas, but they want approval. If it's in your heart and you believe that you can do it, you can do it.
This is sort of like a wall of honor and a wall of fame. Is there anything else up here that really kind of stands out in your mind?
Yes, many things, Kenny. One of the key things, too, I look at where we started up to where we are now, and to be in the Congressional Record. Okay, to see in a publication that people didn't believe it would work. When I decided to go full-time with the paper, I was a school teacher at Danville High School. When I made the decision I was going to step out, because if you believe in it, you got to have the entrepreneur spirit to make it happen. It's up to you to make it happen. And many people joke me about it, their principal. But my superintendent told me, he said, Smother, you can always come back, okay? You can always come back. I told Dr. Thompson, I appreciate that, but I hope I don't have to exercise that option.
Yeah.
And so, to come from your kitchen table to Washington, Congressional, that's big, okay? Yeah. And we've had many awards and things of that nature, but I guess nothing is much greater than, being able to celebrate our 25th anniversary, a big major event, okay? Well, so these are all very historical, and a lot of people are not aware of our history. I'd like to bring in Professor Jamar. Professor Jamar had a publication here in Huntsville called the Weekly News, okay? It was a black newspaper that had been around for a while. He had a lot of papers coming and going, but there was a merger between he and I back in 1985, okay? And this Mayor Joe Davis, can you say that?
I can.
And some people that around that table, like Mr. Patton, Dr. Urine, Hopkins. These are pillars in our community, okay? Spaceman.
Yeah. I see
W.E.U.
Brother Garrett over there,
exactly, right, exactly. So there are many things that have happened with Speaking Out News, but I've had a lot of people that come through that contribute, not me. It's so many individuals that had some type of contribution to Speaking Out, from distributing the paper, from writing to so many things. So I can't take the credit for that. And I got some daughters that I'm so proud of.
And we're going to talk to them in just a few moments, too, as part of this conversation.
Okay, good.
And we're really looking forward to the aspect of hearing from them about what all this means to them as well.
Good.
So we'll continue our conversation in just a few moments.
Very well.
All right. We've been talking with publisher William Smothers today at Speaking Out News about the strong legacy of this great newspaper that's really making an impact in this community and around the nation. Every good legacy needs to have a great succession plan, and I'm happy to say that there is one right here at the paper. I want to introduce you to the associate publisher of Speaking Out News. She's Smother-Roberson.
Hello, Mr. Anderson. Good morning to you.
Thank you. It's so good to talk to you
I
today.
know, as well.
And you're standing here next to your dad. You're part of that succession plan. I don't see the baton in his hand yet, but I know that's part of the process of moving things forward.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about where you see the paper right now in terms of some of the challenges that technology brings with moving to media and alternative forms, and some of the challenges that newspapers, printed newspapers, are facing today, and how you all are adjusting to those things.
Right. Well, we're a small business, and with any small business, of course, there are those restraints, the financial restraints that you will encounter. So to come from print to media, it is definitely a transition, but we have to start somewhere. And so that's why we have done some things with social media, with Facebook and with Twitter. But where we're looking to go, we're trying to, I might say, appeal to a younger generation now. And so social media is the way to go. And we're looking at doing an online newspaper. that's going to be coming up at the beginning of the year. We're going to also start doing some live streaming, some podcasts. So this is more than just a newspaper. We're becoming a media group. That's the future for Speaking Out News.
Yeah, and I know you got a Facebook page that's very
Yes.
active. I see a lot of stuff happening there.
Yes.
And of course, that's, as you said, it's the wave of the future. It's where people are in terms of getting their information. And in order to keep pace, you obviously recognize that, and you're making some changes right now.
Exactly. And there's a statistic that says that most minority groups now, how they're receiving their news is through the social media, through their mobile devices. So we know that's the direction where we need to go quickly.
Yeah. So 10 years from now,
10 years.
and I know I'm pushing you out a little bit, but where do you see the newspaper in 10 years?
In 10 years, wow, we will be not just newspaper. We'll have a digital edition, maybe a weekend edition. So not just something for the week, but just a weekend digital edition that not just spans for just Huntsville, but I'm looking at statewide, Kenny. That's on my mind. And so the whole idea of Speaking Out News is to bring those positive images, positive lifestyles of African Americans. That's the whole point. We want to see another side of us.
Yeah, and you make such a great point in that. And I know, Mr. Smothers, that's something that you've striven for many years, to be able to point out the positive things that are happening in the African American community. I mean, telling the stories obviously is important, but covering things where people who live in communities can see themselves and actually connect to some of the information that matters most to them.
Yes. In fact, Ken, you hit it right on the head. And I know I'm looking forward to the next 10 years. I look to be around.
I should have pushed that out about 20 years, maybe 20, 25 years.
However, but yes, Speaking Out News, the coverage that we do, we cover events and people and situations that happen that wouldn't possibly make the other mainstream newspapers. But it's important to us. It's important to the churches. We have a strong religious base in our paper. And you go back historically, with the black press and the black church was born out of necessity to serve our people. So we yet are maintaining that same motto today from 1837 where we are now. So those events are very important. I look forward to the all the changes from, you know what I mean?
All that electronic
In
stuff.
fact, I want to go ahead and let me talk about this. We just started our e-blast, okay? And the e-blast started last week.
I've been getting them.
Did you get the e-blast?
It's great.
Okay. And right there, I think we got roughly about 5,000 e-blasts in our database going out. Just give them a little headline, bring them back to our website. So, but one thing I have found at my age and where I am now, being surrounded with my daughter and my other daughters, young people with innovative ideas and be able to explore and accept and look at them, but they must accentuate it. I mean, you just can't come off something about your cuff and everything, you know. But we try to stay on the cutting edge, and we got a long way to go. I realize that. There's always a long way to go. I tell her that. You can't rest on your laurels. You got to say, what's tomorrow will bring? What do I have to do? And so we maintain that sort of ideology. We should be well.
Well, this has been a wonderful opportunity and experience for me to be able to come here and learn a whole lot more about this paper and be able to have the opportunity to share this information with the world as well. So I just want to thank both of you for giving us the opportunity to be able to shine a light on what I have known for many years has been a very valuable asset to our community. And thank you for your commitment, Mr. Smothers, and the work that you've put into this. It has not been easy, I know, as an entrepreneur myself, but the perseverance that you've shown and the commitment and dedication that you've shown is certainly commendable.
And also, let me ditto that back to you. What impact and what you've done with the community and what you're doing now is as equal. Okay, so you continue the good work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. And Jamina, thank you for the great work that you're doing as well. And we continue to support what you're doing. So just keep us in mind from time to time as we have an opportunity to share information. We stand with you all as well.
Thank you
very much.
All right.
so much.
We've had a great time today on location at Speaking Out News, talking about all the great things that are happening here from the publication side as well as from the entrepreneurial side, talking with the Smothers family about the Smothers legacy that is strong in this community. And we've really had a wonderful opportunity to be able to learn so much more about a publication that is making an impact in this community. Remember to check out my column in Speaking Out News every first Wednesday of the month. And we hope that you'll continue to join us on this broadcast for more information about the great things that are happening in our community. For Impact, I'm Kenny Anderson. I hope that you have a great day.